and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
All right. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank the Most High for another day. Another day. We got a lengthy lesson today. If we can go into Deuteronomy, let's go Deuteronomy 28. Probably read 1, 2, about 7 each. Let's get started verse 1. 28 and verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thy be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thy be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
Verse 8, the Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and all that thou settest thine hand unto. He shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by thy name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord swore unto thy fathers to give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I commanded thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods, to serve them.
Verse 15, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shalt be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when goest out. The Lord shall set upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly. because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
All praises. All right, we're going into King Hezekiah today. King Hezekiah. Probably got about 3 more lessons on the going into these kings in the kings of Israel and Judah. That's what we've been doing the past month. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 17. Let's get a little backstory before we really get into it. Let's start at verse 1. We're gonna jump it around a bit. So King Hezekiah of Judah.
This is 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria, and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gazan, and in the cities of the Medes.
All right. We're going to move it around a bit. Just giving you backstory. So this is during the time Northern Kingdom was taken. Everybody follow us?
Come on.
All right, let's jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven, and served Baal.
Mm-hmm.
And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin.
So we remember that, going to that about 2 weeks ago, right?
Verse 22.
Now look, we're gonna jump around a little bit. Just want to give y'all the backstory of that, of Israel going into or the northern kingdom of Israel going into certain parts of Persia and different places, getting removed out of the land. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 18 in verse 1.
It reads, Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father did.
Mm-hmm.
He removed the high places, and brake the images, and cut down the groves, and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan. He trusted in the most high power of Israel. so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Most High and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments, which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered whithersoever he went forth. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. He smote the Philistines, even unto Gaza, and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of the 3 years, they took it. Even in that 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Halah, and in Habor by the river of Gazan, and in the city of the Medes, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded, and would not hear them, nor do them. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah, and took them. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria, to Lachish, saying, I have offended, return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord and in the treasures of the king's house. At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord, and from the pillars which Hezekiah king of Judah had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem, and when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household of Shebna, the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now, Hezekiah, thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, what confidence is this wherein thou trustest?
Where is this confidence that you think we won't conquer you, right?
Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust, that thou rebellest against me? Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. But if ye say unto me, we trust in the Most High our power, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, have said to Judah and Jerusalem, ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my lord, the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou wilt be able on thy part to set the riders upon them.
This kind of reminds me, anybody seen the movie 300? They came making threats, right? Let's keep it going.
Verse 24. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the wall. But Rabshakeh said to them, Hath my master sent me to thy master, and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung, and drink their own piss with you? Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spake, saying, Hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not unto Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, Make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his own fig tree, and drink ye every one the waters of his cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil, olive, and honey, that ye may live and not die. And hearken not unto Hezekiah, when he persuadeth you, saying, The Lord will deliver us. Hath any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria?
So they boasting against the Most High, right? They boasting against the Most High. Let's keep it going.
Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Shepharvim, Hena, and Eva? Have they delivered Samaria out of mine hand? Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of mine hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of my hand? But the people held their peace and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was, saying, Answer him not. Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household of Shebna, the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder, to Hezekiah with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh.
So told all the words to Hezekiah, right? Anyone familiar with Hezekiah? Little bit? It's first time? Anybody? Y'all just gonna give me them looks that Jeremiah talked about?
First timers?
Them hard looks?
Raise your hand, first timers.
Alright. Well, we see that they trying to come up against it, so let's see how the Most High handled that. How he goes about handling this, because they just boasting against not just man, but the Most High, right? And we'll see about that. It's kind of like what the world leaders doing now, you know, we see what's going on like in LA right now, and just further just destroying the people worldwide. Just been boasting for the last 2,000 years, really. But we see that Babylon is definitely on a decline. People think it's going to get greater, it's going to get better, but this is just it's deliverance. It has to happen just like ancient Egypt, just like ancient Persia, ancient Babylon, Rome. It's people just kind of live as though that this time is the most important time. Like everything before them didn't matter. Like this kingdom is the one that's gonna be here to stay. You know, and this is the youngest country in the world. So, well, since they taking it over, I'll say that. Let's go to chapter 19 and verse 1.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 19 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos.
So when you read like Isaiah, like 37 to 39, or 36 to 39, it goes with 2 Kings 18, 19, 20. So if you read that, because Isaiah was around during the same time as Hezekiah, if you want to jot that down. You know, when you jumping around through the precepts, sometimes people that's not really studied up or learned, you know, wherever they're at in their studies, they think you just read, you know, from Genesis to Revelation, which you can, but they don't understand how certain timetable.
It's not consecutive.
Let's keep it going. Any questions so far? Nope. All right, let's keep it going.
Verse 3. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, this day is a day of trouble, and of rebuke, and blasphemy. For the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be the Lord thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria, his master, have sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore, lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Most High, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard say of Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, behold, he is come out of the fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God go in whom thou trustest deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands, by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered.
When you get time, especially while they taking down all our videos, we got a video about the walls of Lachish, and or if you want to just study it, jot down walls of Lachish, you can look at the images of this captivity in the that they taken from over there in Assyria. It's in the British Museum. So when you see this captivity right here going on, the Northern Kingdom and Assyria was ruling the earth at this time. Let's keep it going.
Verse 12. Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed, as Gazan and Haran and Rezeph and the children of Eden, which were in Telasar? Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Arpad, and the king of the city of Sepharvaim, and Hannah, and Avah? And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messenger, and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord, and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Most High, and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Lord, bow down thine ear and hear. Open, Lord, thine eyes and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which have sent him to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Now therefore, O Lord our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the most high power, even thou only. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the most high power of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. And the daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice and lifted up thine eyes on high? Even against the Holy One of Israel. By the messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said, with the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the voice of fir trees thereof, choice of fir trees thereof. And I will enter into the lodgings of the borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it? So like 25. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass of the housetops, and corn, blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me, because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore I will put my hook in thy nose.
It's the same tumult, like when you read Psalms 83, his enemies make a tumult. Always making a plan against the Most High. And it, like the word says, there's no planning against the Most High. And, that's just what, really what you see in the earth. Every time they just, especially with the news, okay, story come out, they on that story for a whole week. They behind it. I mean, who's seen the one with the governor? Did anyone see that where the lady walked up on the car? Brother was sharing that with me, and it's like, that's straight theater. That's worse than the Tyler Perry stuff. But it's like, but blessed are your eyes that can see, because to you, you can see that it's theater, but most people in the world think that it's real, Oh, they wouldn't have gave her that time of day if she was black and all this. It's like, so you really believe that was real. And you just gotta thank the Most High. We laugh about stuff, but then in all seriousness, it's like it's him that pull you, like the word say. So the fact that you can see that that's all, show, you just gotta thank him, because it's a lot of people falling for every trap out here in this world that the devil's ministers is ministering to this world through politics and policies, as they say. Where we at now?
Verse 28.
Yeah, let's keep that going.
Verse 28. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come into my ears, therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest, and this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves, and in the second year that which springeth of the same time, of the same. And in the third year sow ye and reap and plant vineyards and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Most High. For I will defend this city, to save it for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 180,000, And when they arose early in the morning, behold, there they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, his sons, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead.
Let's go to Josephus, then we come back to 20. Let's get that one, chapter 2. We're going to the Josephus book, get some history on King Hezekiah.
This is Josephus, chapter 2, in the Jewish antiquities. It reads, Now King Hezekiah, being thus delivered after a surprising manner from the dread he was in, offered thanks offerings to God with all his people, because nothing else had destroyed some of their enemies, and made the rest so fearful of undergoing the same fate that they departed from Jerusalem, but that divine assistance. Yet while he was very zealous and diligent about the worship of God, did he soon afterwards fall into a severe sickness, and so much that the physicians despaired of him, and expected no good issue of his sickness, as neither did his friends. And besides the sickness itself, there was a very melancholy circumstance that disordered the king, which was the consideration that he was childless and was going to die and leave his house and his government without a successor of his own body. So he was troubled at the thoughts of his condition, and lamented himself, and entreated of God that he would prolong his life for a little while, until he had some children, and not suffered him to depart this life before he became a father.
So let's go into Hezekiah's sickness. Let's go to we're going to 2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 1. Going to Hezekiah's sickness.
You said 21?
No, we're gonna go to 20 and verse 1.
2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 1. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live.
That's what they tell people in the world too. Like they getting those, sicknesses, cancer and stuff, get your affairs in order, right? Let's keep it going.
Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass, afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. And Isaiah said, Take a lump of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, What shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me, and that I shall go up into the house of the Lord the third day? And Isaiah said, This sign shalt thou have of the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing that he hath spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees, or go back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, It is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, And he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. At that time, Barakladon, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of his precious things.
He showed them everything, right? They come in deceit. Let's see what he got in his house.
And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold, and the spices, and all precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men, and from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country, even from Babylon.
Away from Babylon. Now remember, Babylon was on the way after this, right?
And he said, What have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, All the things that are in mine house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, Hear the word of the Lord. Behold, the days come that all that is in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day, shall be carried into Babylon. Nothing shall be left, saith the Most High. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, Good is the word of the Lord, which thou hast spoken. And he has said, Is it not good if peace and truth be in my days? And the rest of the acts of Hezekiah, and all his might, and how he made a pool and a conduit, and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh his son reigned in his stead.
All right. It's King Hezekiah. So where did he go wrong at? Anybody?
Showing the king of Babylon everything.
Showing him everything, right? With deceit. So, any questions on Hezekiah? We're probably gonna do about 3 more kings. But yeah, we hope that has anybody been learning about the kings through this series? Learning the different way they was ruling, the different ways they were going about things, and how they was serving the Most High or not serving the Most High. So, but as you can see, it's like it's all the Most High's plan. Like leaving Judah there, raising up Christ, only the northern kingdom going into captivity and still leaving way for Christ to be born in Judah. So all the moving parts, even back then, you got to know that even today, it's all the Most High moving parts. There's nothing that they could really do. Whoever's supposed to be here gonna be here. Whoever's supposed to go is gonna go. And the main part is just knowing that you right with Him. Like you see a lot of people in these fires, a lot of possessions going away and people relying on insurance, and you still more so relying on the leaders of this earth and their systems to take care of you more than the Most High. But they trust in that, but no one's really trusting in the real power that's going, having your faith in the Most High and what He gonna do for you. And that's what we should all be focused on, if everyone that comes from Adam. So no more questions? All right, we could test and we could pray out, or we could pray out and then test. Thank the Most High.
Ahaya, Bahashim Yeshaya.